Benergetic, you're up first, mate. Any questions for you that I can help
Yes.
you answer?
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
I can, which is saying something.
Yep. That's good. Okay. That's a good start. Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for doing this AMA. This has been fantastic. This has been everything that I've been looking for. Wow. And I do have a few questions, if we don't mind. I'll start off by saying that you guys have set a new trend in the DeFi space by being one of the first DeFi projects with a fully doxed developer team. And I saw there's an announcement about doxing all of the dev team treasury wallets, and that's fantastic. Really looking forward to that. When is the team going to take this openness to the next level by doxing the personal wallets of the upper level leadership of the team?
Wow. Okay, so you don't hang about. Okay. Uh, Immediately, I think of a problem with your question. Okay, so I give you one of my wallets, and I say this is my wallet. But what's to stop me having 3 or 4 different wallets? Or do you specifically mean wallets where I may hold a large number of ARC tokens?
That is primarily what I'm most interested in. Yeah. Like, so you guys can have all your other wallets and that's all fine, but I kind of want to see the conviction that the development team has in their own project right now.
When you say development team, do you mean all of us, as in myself
Yeah,
included, or
we
do you mean?
we could say TJ, George, Nick, and Ryan.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what I would say is that happily share that information from my perspective. But to give you a bit of background, I got on board via from Glitch to Gpool, and then I invested that way. So um, I would say, why am I sharing? Are you asking whether we've been given or whether we? Because I would say to you, well, you show me yours then. I've bought my tokens the same way everyone else did in the Gpool. Why should I be showing you how many I've accumulated? Because it's not, we haven't been given any. If that's what you're getting at, or is that what you want to see, that we haven't been given any?
No, actually, I wouldn't have a problem at all if you guys were given some out of the dev team treasury wallet. I would see that as a huge vote of confidence. Actually, if you guys were partially receiving payment for your work in ARC, that would actually I would really like to see something like that. But what I'm mostly kind of getting at is just like, wanting to know that I'm not holding a bigger bag than the chief operations officer or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to be, sorry, you want me to have more than you? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Okay. Well, because you think if I didn't own more ARC than you, then how do I sort of, I
It
obviously don't rate my own project. Is that where you're going with this
Yeah,
question?
yeah, yeah. That's exactly it, right? Like you could look at your holdings in ARC as a vote of confidence, right? And I'm an outside investor, and so I think that my holdings in ARC reflect my level of confidence in the project, which it may not be a lot of money for everybody, but to me, it's a significant amount, and I think it reflects a great deal of confidence in the project. And so I want to see that the development team has even more confidence in that project, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a very, I'll be honest with you, it's a very ballsy question to ask. I like that you're asking those questions, and I see what you're saying. I can't speak for everyone because it's everyone's personal. We have not been given bonus tokens, so to answer that question, so I mean, for example, there'll be some people who have joined the team when the token was at sort of 20-30 cents, and there's me that's jumped on the bandwagon and pocketed a sweet amount of tokens for a 0.0025 of a dollar. So yeah, I tell you what, what I can tell you I'll do is I'll have a chat to the team the next daily stand up, and I'll have a chat about this. But you have to appreciate that everyone has their own attitude towards finances. Some people like talking about it, some people don't like talking about it. I'm not that bothered about it. Um, but I know some people are very cagey about sharing their information. And what essentially you're asking is that in a space like DeFi that attracts people because of anonymity, essentially what you're asking everyone to do is open up their bank accounts. So I understand the reason for you asking the question, and I will put that to the team. Yeah, 100%. But yes, just know what it is that you're asking there. That's
No,
all I would say. Because
yeah,
yeah.
I
But yeah, no,
absolutely understand, and I appreciate the answer. That was a great
no,
answer.
not a problem, mate. Not a problem. Is there anything
Um,
else you've got whilst you're up here?
yeah,
Or
I got a couple of other things.
okay.
One being that a lot of people, or maybe some people in here, might come from traditional finance, where financial reports are released quarterly. So why is ARC holding itself to a lower level of communication or fiduciary, communication there? Because you had mentioned earlier that that's going to be like a financials report would be an end of year thing.
Yeah, it is in the UK. I mean, correct me. I'm not financially trained, but correct me if I'm wrong. But in the UK, you publish your accounts on an annual basis, and then you could go and see some. You could type in online and go see someone's end of year accounts. It's my point I made earlier wasn't the fact that we're trying to sort of hold ourselves to a lower or a higher level, but the point I was making was that there are certain elements of a business that you don't get to see in its operational capacity. You see it at the end of that section. If from a quarterly perspective, again, it's something that I can go back and speak to everyone about with regards to freeing up that information and the thought process, especially our PR firm with regards to that. I'm not sure how many others do that, but again, it's something more than happy to have a discussion about. But it's with regards to us publishing those reports, it's something that we can definitely look into. Yeah.
All right, thank you. One more. So whether it's valid or not, whether it's baseless or not, there does seem to be some sentiment in the community that the team has done a poor job of communicating important information to investors. Do you have anything you'd like to say to investors who feel this way?
Well, first of all, I'd ask you, do you want to be more specific about the poor communication? Because I would say if you're talking about the fact that we didn't free up the information that we were going to token swap, then I would say that's not really a very fair
Yeah, no,
representation.
absolutely not. I completely understand why the token swap had to go completely unannounced until it happened. I've got no issues with that.
So what poor communication would you be referring to?
I guess I can't give you any specific examples right now. So
Okay.
I can move on from that, I guess.
Okay. I mean, I guess when you hear it, people whinging, or say whinging, people concerned about that. My initial guess would it would be solely around that event, because I would say that we're quite forthcoming with information. So unless someone can point me in the right direction, then I would say it would be around those sorts of that area.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Nope, thanks very much for your time, mate. Is there anyone else, guys, who wants to jump up on the stage? Any questions? Oh God, I hadn't scrolled down. Sorry, 2 secs. Reading through. The management team have skin in the game. Yeah, I know what he's asking. I know what he wants to see. Yeah, you can see how many dog coins I've got, and no one's seeing that. Came into Discord with yeah, I think I a little while back I wrote a small piece on anonymity because I was seeing a lot of hypocrisy come across the space. Oh, Madmine has got his hand up. Sorry, I'll shut up. 2 seconds, Mad Miner. Let me get you up. Okay. Mad Miner.
Hey, George.
Well, hey.
I think you were about to lead into my question. That came off the backside of Benergetics' comment there. If the team doesn't get a payment of ARC at some point in the process, how is the team getting compensated for the work on the project?
We get paid. In short, we get paid in stables, but we will going forward. An element of it, the discussion is that ARC will be part of that process. But we're juggling around the criteria of controlling token, not controlling token price, but we're kind of trying to prove a point a little bit here. I think when you get sort of best way to explain it, when you get people start pointing the finger and sort of suggest that you are nefarious in nature and you're dodgy and you're just scamming and stuff. Part of what we discussed as a team was that we wanted to show that that's not the case, and the fact that the token is better off than Depot was before the swap happened is part of a testament to that, part of a testament to the community. But yes, we will. I would more than happily take payment, but also you got to remember these are their jobs. So if you pay everyone in ARC and everyone sells, there is an element of pressure there, and you'll see that actively coming from the wallets and going out. So there's a fine balance we feel between sort of the stable payments and token payments, because we don't want to sort of negatively impact the token price if we don't physically have to. Does that answer your question, mate? Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is an AMA, and there's a question I had in my mind is how the team's getting compensated for the work. And I'm not judging either which way. I think the way that you guys are doing it seems to be working, and no judgment here. It's just a clarity issue for me.
Yeah, no, it's yes. Sorry.
Sorry, George. Going back a little earlier, I know there was a comment made on how community sentiment is being monitored or addressed within the Twitter space and within the Discord channels. And there was a few comments around having some more community leaders or members, advocates in the community who can help answer questions, go back to the team, gather information, and report it back to the community. Because I think our FUD has gotten out of control, and I hate to see my investment going down the drain because of uncontrolled FUD, right? I don't think at this point there's a need for it. I think it's just a lot of unanswered questions that slowly escalate over time and they build. It's that whole telephone game that we used to play as a kid, right? It slowly builds up and the message changes to something that maybe it wasn't originally intended to be. But so I know there's a group of us actively in Discord who try to answer questions from community members who come in, but we don't have and we're not given enough information to be able to address those questions, and so they go unanswered. And when they go unanswered, other people start picking them up, and then there's a snowball effect. So I'm hoping the team's going to be able to bring something together here in the near future that'll help address that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I spent 48 hours in solidly in Telegram, and by the end of it, I was ready to jump off a bridge. If I'm honest, it was incredibly depressing. But why it was depressing is because I was answering the same questions over and over again. Because people come in, they just ask the questions, and then they move on. So that's why we came up with this. We've created like an e-newsletter. It will be controlled by Ryan, the community manager at present, and we've literally just put the finishing touches on it, and that will then be deployed. So there'll be always a reference point. So you mentioned not sort of having those intricate details. They will be readily available, and it'll be a Google Sheet, so it'll be updated on a regular basis. Information comes in, it'll be put on there, and then we'll then maybe just put a little sort of message on Telegram, Discord to say, look, reference back to that, it's changed again, there's some new information. But it's somewhere for people to go to instead of whinging about there's too many pinned messages, or it will be a reference point for everyone. So it can be, because the other thing I was, to answer the other part of your question is, would we have more people? Well, more people cost more money. And if we're not working smart and we're just working hard, you're not necessarily doing the best thing. So where we totally appreciate all of you guys who aren't even part of the project, but you just have picked up enough and you're all savvy enough that you jump in and ask those questions. It's greatly appreciated. But we think with this newsletter, it'll be a case of, look, we can just leave. If they haven't got the ability to just go and click on that link to the newsletter, then, actually, are they just being a little bit lazy, because that should then we think that will be a good sort of FUD destroyer with regards to just not getting an answer back from the admins, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And like you touched on, the community is kind of self sufficient in the fact that we have enough long term holders and members that know enough information that we can put some of the fires out as they come out, especially with this document that gives us a little more details to go on. To be able to say, George specifically said this, or Ryan specifically said this, squash the FUD before it gets out of control, I think would be ideal. And lastly, George, I got to commend you on coming in here. I've been a holder for quite a while now. I have a decent sized investment in ARK and came into this meeting as kind of a last resort. Seriously considering pulling my position out on this, and you've single-handedly turned that around for me. So I want to commend you on that. I appreciate everything you've done, and you've manned up and taken a lot of hits on the chin here in this AMA. So it's quite impressive, sir.
I appreciate your kind words, thank you. But again, like I said, it's the bare minimum I feel that we can do is to answer the questions regardless of how hard they are. It doesn't really matter. It's like you said, it's I know we all should put in what we can afford to lose and all that stuff, but I've put in way more than I can afford to lose. So I totally understand that people have put a lot of trust in that in Depot, and that it must feel like a bit of a cycle. But yeah, we have no intention of repeating any of the issues we've had thus far. So I appreciate you guys, all of you, hanging around and taking the time to listen. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you, George. That's all I had. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Likewise. Thank you, mate. Okay, guys. Any last AMA questions? Is it none of the community's voices match their avatar image? Okay. I'm pretty sure I look like a public school boy, so I think that's probably an unfair assessment. Any more questions? 18-20 hours, which I think is numbered, mentioned Nick earlier, is an expectation on them right now and possibly the future. Seems like a good way to lead burnout pretty quickly. Yeah, so the question on, do we work 18 to 20 hour days every day? No, of course we don't work 18 to 20 hours every day. However, there are some days when we say all hands on deck, yes, then there will be those days that just drag on and on and on, and 18 hours, yes. But no, we're not stupid enough to realize that that's sustainable. And that's, like I mentioned earlier about working smart, that's why the newsletter is going to be something that we can hopefully reference to save a little bit of time. Can you still hear me, guys? Ooh. Cool. Okay, thank you. Yeah, again, technical difficulties appalling. I even recce'd it in here on the Wi-Fi, and I think since people have come in, it's just slowed right down. So apologies for that again. I think that's any more, guys? Any more for any more? I don't even know what MOA is. So guys, Dubai, I'll be at the blockchain tomorrow. I'll be updating on Twitter. I'll be sending a lot of photos to Nick. If I speak to any projects, any small NFT projects, I've already had some emails, generic ones come through from the conference anyway. So I'll be having a chat with them. And any promising stuff, I'll post and keep you all updated on there. So you can see that. And then I've got something else in Frankfurt as well later on. So on the 31st, which will be a good one, and I'll keep you updated on that as well. So yes, he's already touched base with me, Sigro. He just literally sent me a Telegram message now. So I'll touch base with him. Yeah, I've already spoken to German several times. So yeah, we'll do. But amazing. Thanks, guys. Thank you for hanging around. For those of you who we've pushed to the limit, I apologize that it's got to that stage. And all I can say is that if you hang around, you will see that we will continue to graft our asses off in a way that hopefully will all increase your bag size. So yeah, no, I wouldn't tell the police where I was, would I? Come on. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. thank you for your time, and I will speak to you next time around.